Hello everyone, welcome to Information with Tsepiso. I am Tsepiso Angwejana and you're tuned into yet another video where we're tackling things that you need to consider whenever you want to buy a car or before you buy a car, right? Alright, while we're still at that, make sure that you go ahead and subscribe to this channel. Go ahead and also hit that notification bell and turn it on so that you get notified every time I upload a video. Make sure that you like and share this information with your loved ones and your friends. Don't hesitate to leave a comment in the comment section below and let us get back to the video. All right, so the first thing that you need to consider is a credit check. You need to check your credit score as to whether you're eligible to get a loan that's provided you want to buy the car on credit, as to whether you're eligible to get a loan from the bank, right? When you have your credit score at 600, the bank considers you eligible to get a loan from them, right? To buy your car. And then in South Africa, a 650 credit score is considered a decent credit score. All right, the second thing that you need to consider is to write down your budget, right? This budget is the amount of money that you roughly would be able to pay or pop out on a monthly basis, which includes your car monthly installment, car insurance, your car petrol, and car emergency savings. For example, if your insurance does not cover certain things or certain small things, you need to have money on the side to be able to do what? To cater for those needs that your car is presenting you with, right? And then the car's major service, you need to also make sure that if your insurance does not cover that, you put out money on your savings account so that whenever the time for a major service arrives, you're able to take that money and use it on there or pay for that car's major service, right? And then a car tracker. If your car insurance does not cover a car tracker for security purposes, if you really need a car tracker, you will also need to pop out some money to make sure that you pay for a car tracker company every month, right? All right, the third thing that you need to decide on is what body type or make or model, of the car that you need. Is it a sedan? Is it a bakkie? Is it an SUV or a hatchback, right? And then the fourth thing that you need to decide on is the make of the car. If it's a BMW that you want, or a Mercedes-Benz or Volkswagen or an Audi, for example, right? And then the fifth thing, the variant of the car. If you need a 4-door or 3-door car, you need to decide on that particular item, which also all these things will affect the amount of money that the car you want to buy is worth, right? Then the sixth thing, which is the most important item when buying a car, is to check for kilometers. It's usually not advised to buy a car with anything above 80 or 90,000 kilometers, right? If you buy a car with 90,000 going down kilometers, it's still in a good condition, right? Obviously, you would need to check the engine and all that if the kilometers are above 90,000. Then the seventh thing that you need to also consider is the year at which the car was manufactured. It's also not advised for you to take anything beyond 5 years or at the year that you're buying the car. For example, if you're buying the car in 2022, right, you need to consider a car that was manufactured 5 years before 2022. Any time before the 5 years before 2022, that's when you need to, those are the years that you need to consider. Okay, then the eighth thing that you need to consider is the gearbox of the car. You need to check the gearbox, whether the car is automatic or manual. If you need manual, you go for the manual. It also affects the price as well of the particular car that you want. If it's an automatic, the price is most likely to be higher than the manual car. The ninth thing that you need to consider is the fuel type. If the car uses petrol, if the car uses diesel, if the car uses a combination or a hybrid, which is a combination of either a petrol or engine, petrol or diesel engine, and also an electric motor, right? Also, that might add to the price of the car, right? And then the other thing that you need to consider is the color of the car. Most people don't really take that into consideration. Like, they're not that particular when it comes to color. But if you're particular, make sure that you write it down and know what color you are looking for. And also make sure that you ask, when you get to the car dealership and you've seen a car that you like, make sure that you ask for a service book. A service book is one that shows you how often the car was being serviced and when last the car was serviced and when is the car's next service, right? And that is very important, because if your car was not being serviced, then you might have challenges, right? With that particular car, you might have challenges. And then the other thing that you need to check is roadworthiness. Roadworthiness is very important as well, because if your car is not roadworthy, if you buy a car and it is not regarded roadworthy, you cannot drive it on the road. If you drive it by force, you will be, and I'm not so sure if orange looks good on you. So make sure that you check as to whether the car has a roadworthy certificate. Most people use the DECRA company to check for the car's roadworthiness. Also, some dealerships do take their cars for roadworthiness and get certificate for roadworthiness, and then you don't have to do you don't have to go through that process afterwards, right? But make sure that you check if the car is roadworthy. If not, you're gonna have to go take it to DECRA. That's mostly the company that is used by most people or most dealerships. You take it there and then they check as to whether your car is in a good condition. If it's not, they will tell you what is wrong that needs to be fixed on the car before they can certify it roadworthy, and it also comes at a cost. So make sure that in your pocket you are ready for spending on the car or on any car that you decide to buy, right? And then the other thing, make sure that if the car is second hand, you ask them if it was involved in a car accident, because that would inform you as to whether you go ahead buying that car with the problems that it has or not, right? And also, when you get to a car dealership, make sure that you ask questions, even the stupidest question that you think this one, just ask that question, right? And I would advise you to go to a car dealership with somebody that knows cars very well, so that they ask for a testing to test drive the car around. You can also test drive the car, because there are some sounds that you may not hear because you don't know cars, but the person who knows cars would be able to tell that this engine is giving some sound and it's not supposed to do that, and then they'll be able to ask proper questions on your behalf, right? So that this is to avoid you getting scammed when you buy a car. Is that all right? Okay. And then the other thing that you need to look into, if you're going to be buying your car via a bank, you need to be pre-qualified. This is very important. And most people, when you take the pre-qualification test, they usually the results usually would tell you that you qualify for R1 million worth car, but that is not a translation of affordability, because affordability, when we say you afford a particular car, we look at your salary, your income, and the expenses that you're having currently, and as to whether you'll be able to cater for the the upcoming expense that comes with the car, right? So if the car is if your pre-qualification test says, or result says you're qualifying for a car that is worth $1 million, do not go for a car that is worth $1 million, because then you will not be able to buy petrol afterwards, insurance, car tracker, and all those things that might need extra cash, right? So if you're pre-qualified for $1 million, I'd advise you to go for like something around 500,000, and just around there, right? So that you are able to also have money to save for personal use. And yeah, if you're buying cash, you obviously do not need to be pre-qualified. The only thing that you need to ask for is their banking details, that particular dealership's banking details, ladies and gentlemen, and make sure that you double check as to whether those banking details are correct and they're for that car dealership before you get scammed a lot of money, right? And then the only thing that you need to do is just to transfer money into their account, and voila, the car is yours. And then I'll do a video on transferring of ownership transference, because now the video, I don't want it to be too long. And yeah, so this information that I just gave you is what has to accompany every car that you see, whether you're seeing it online or on the website of that particular car dealership, or whether you go there physically. When you get there physically, the information that I gave you should be written under the car that they're selling. If it's a Mazda 323, if it exists, of course. I'm not so good with cars, but yeah, if it's a Mazda 323, the information that I gave you has to be under it, you know, so that you are informed and you are ticking, oh, this one is there, this one is there, this one is there, this one is not there. And then the one that is not there, from the information that I just gave you, you ask them. Like I said, ask questions. Even the one that you think is the most stupidest, make sure that you ask that question. Okay, and then also make sure that you check as many car dealerships as possible. Don't just go to one car dealership. And when you're checking online, especially when you go to the website of a car dealership that is mostly in different provinces, make sure that you check where the car that you're seeing or that you like is at, which branches it is at, because most of the time you find that it's the car that you like is in Limpopo and you are in Western Cape, right? If you don't mind it being couriered to you and you pay for the courier, my advice is make sure that at least you go for a car that is in the car dealerships centers that are in the province where you are, right? Unless if you can travel to the next province where you're seeing the car, if it's a good deal and you really want to go and take it from another province to your province, then you can go ahead and do that. But make sure that you check where the car is situated, which province it is at. And yeah, that is it from us. This is Information with Tepiso. Ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for tuning in. All the best in finding your beautiful car, and thank you, ladies and gentlemen.